Hi guys, welcome to Destination Hytale. I'm Chris and today I'm going to bring you guys the newest information and speculation about Hypixel Studios in a blog post titled Exploring Hytale's Block Tech. First off, the Hytale team gave a brief introduction to the blog post. If you've watched the Hytale announcement trailer or taken a look at our media section, you'll have seen plenty of landscapes and prefabs, and each of them has been built with blocks. Today we're going to explain the features and techniques that make Hytale blocks special, and how you'll be able to make use of them as you build your own creations. First off, RGB tints. Hytale's creative tools can be used to change the RGB tint of any block. By changing the red, green, and blue properties of a texture, you can dynamically change its color. In this picture, the ground is composed of the same basic grass block, but different areas have their RGB balance shifted to the extremes. Here's an example of this technique being used in-game. In this shot, the blocks to the right have their RGB balance shifted towards blue to create a sense of mystery. I feel like this feature would really impact the adventurous feel of Hytale. It's going to come in very handy for map makers and modders because you will be able to set the mood with color. I suspect that modders will be able to easily assign certain blocks the ability to spread different colored light. It should be easy to assign what color it is and how far it spreads. On the other hand, map making is not as clear. There could be a paint tool in creative mode, but there's a high chance it would be a hassle to use it. Transition textures. Transition textures are used to create smooth transitions between different block types. In the example above, you can see how grass, sand, and ground intermingle without highlights forming where the blocks meet. The transition feature is one of the many tricks we use to break up the cubic nature of our game. It's an extra quad with a specific texture that can appear in the boundary between different blocks. It's defined on a per block basis, with a set of valid blocks it can target. Builders can use this feature to create nice transitions between blocks. I suspect that the valid blocks are going to be only nature type blocks, because as you will see later in the video, a wood floor doesn't transition into stone. Incorporating the Hytale model maker, Hytale blocks can be rendered in several different ways. The most basic kind of block is simply a cube with a texture defined for each face. We also have blocks that use models and textures defined in the Hytale model maker. These provide creators with freedom to create some pretty cool effects. We also have a hybrid type of block that uses elements of both. This is useful for combining ore with several types of blocks, depending on the location that you're in. It means that you can find ores in stony areas, sandy areas, and so on. In the example above, you can see how models created in the Hytale model maker are used to create a sense of ore emerging from the surrounding environment. They even glimmer in the dark. I think this feature will be a nice addition because it will give both the Hytale team and the creators more creative freedom when 3D modeling and dealing with different kinds of blocks. Also, it would be cool to have a feature where you can set specific blocks that ore spawn in. Submersive blocks. Hybrid block types can also be used to create interesting interactions between blocks. In this example, note how certain blocks, the vegetation and treasure chest, intersect with the water, creating the impression of being underwater. Using a simple option in the configuration file for the block, it can be made to submerge in any fluid, which are also just special blocks. The purpose of this feature is not to impair fluid physics with fences, flowers, and other non-solid blocks. The benefit of this feature is that you can make good-looking flooded areas. You can have fences in your river to block NPCs and harvest flowers from the bottom of the ocean. As you can see in the trailer, we have lots of corals in the game, which integrates perfectly into the underwater world. This is a great feature to have straight from the game's launch, because the game will feel more immersive and realistic despite being a cubic style of game. I really like the fact that there's an option to change if the block is immersive. Varied foliage. Hytale's treetops provide an example of how custom blocks can be used to create visually diverse environments. Each tree is topped with a crown of leaf blocks, which have unique properties that help us create varied foliage. Note how leaf texture bisects the block from multiple angles rather than appearing on the outer surface of the cube. This immediately helps the block feel less blocky, but you go one step further. Every time a leaf block is placed, we rotate it to create a sense of random leaf placement. As you can see in the picture, the Hytale model maker is being used to make the leaves, which means that it will be one of the features. This kind of model's creation process is probably going to be a little different from normal models because it just isn't a bunch of cubes put together. Ambient animations. In the clip above, you can see how long glass sways in the wind and how it reacts as you move through it. This is a special effect that can be applied to the block to help environments feel more dynamic. I really hope that it's going to be as easy as they say to set specific blocks to have ambient animations, because you could really make the nature more immersive. Particle animations. Hytale also has a system for attaching particle effects to block types. In this example, You can see how each block breaks apart in a different way when it's destroyed. We have particle block event sets that can be linked to blocks. Each can define a particle system for various block events. Examples of events include walking and running across a block, interactions with soft and hard materials, as well as hitting, breaking, and building with each block type. Particle effects can be tinned in the same way as blocks too. It was pretty obvious that this feature would be in the game, because it's a thing that is present in other similar games, and it's a great feature to have, because it will make the gameplay more alive. I wonder how they will deal with the particles when building blocks. If I had to guess, it could be some small particle effects near the bottom of the block when you place it. Moving on. Interactions and animation states. We've also built systems to allow blocks to animate in sophisticated ways. In this clip above, the player approaches a pair of double doors that swing apart when they are open. This uses some of the underlying technologies that we have. When the door is open, we change the underlying block to the open door block. Then we visualize that for players by playing an animation on the block's model. The same system is used for trapdoors, chests, levers, lanterns, and any other block that animates between different states. When Hytale launches, models will be able to use the system to create their own block interactions. As the system is now, it will be very easy to create custom blocks that change state when interacted with. This is great news for everyone. Long gone are the days of setting up redstone systems for automatic doors. Modders will be able to use this to their advantage when they want to do something out of the ordinary. I think there will be plenty of mods with custom hidden stuff that pops out only when a certain player is near. Hytale's block system is designed to support immersive and interactive environments, whether you're playing adventure mode, building your own world, or designing a minigame. So yeah, that's about it for the blog post breakdown. This was a really exciting blog post to cover because it showed a lot of features, and it's really fun to learn more and more about the game as we get closer to the release date. I'm Chris, this was Destination Hytale. I will see you guys in the next video.